Start of this Project Gutenberg ebook adventure. Produced by Alicia Williams, Joshua Hutchinson and the online distributed proofreading team at http://www.pgdp.net. The Adventures of Two Dutch Dolls and a Golliwogg. Pictures by signed Florence K. Upton. Words by Bertha Upton. Dewolf, Fisk & Co. Boston. 'Twas on a frosty Christmas Eve, when Peggy Deutschland woke from her wooden sleep, on the counter steep, and to her neighbor spoke. Get up, dear Sarah Jane. Now strikes the midnight hour, when dolls and toys taste human joys, and revel in their power. I long to try my limbs a bit, and you must walk with me. Our joints are good though made of wood, and I pine for liberty. For 12 long months we've lain in here, but we don't care a fig. When wide awake it does not take us long to dance a jig. But who comes here across our path, in gay attire bedight? A little girl, with hair in curl, and eyes so round and bright. Good evening, miss, how fine you look, beside you I feel bare. I must confess I need a dress, if I would look as fair. On that high pole I see a flag with colors red and blue. Dear Sarah Jane, 'tis very plain a climb you'll have to do. You're young and light, so now be quick, dear sister, good and kind. You look dismayed, don't be afraid, it's not so hard you'll find. Then up the pole with trembling limbs, poor Sarah Jane did mount. She dared not lag, but seized the flag, ere you could 20 count. Big Peggy gazed with deep concern, and mouth wide open too. Her only care that she might wear a gown of brilliant hue. Now Peg, by instinct, seemed to know where scissors might be got. The fits were bad, but then she had no patterns on the spot. Soon where the garments hurried on, Sarah looked well in blue. Mirror in hand she took her stand, while Peggy pinned hers through. Said Peggy, after work so hard, I think a rest we need. Let's take a ride, seated astride upon this gentle steed. Then simple Sarah Jane climbed up upon his wooden back. With timorous heart she felt him start upon the open track. Ere long they knew that hidden there beneath a stolid mien dwelled a fierce will. They could not still, they rode as if by steam. Peggy held on with tightening grip, while Sarah Jane behind, having no hold to make her bold, to screaming gave her mind. Oh Peggy, put me down I pray, I ride in mortal dread. Do make him stop, or I shall drop, and break my wooden head. E'en as those piteous words she spoke, they struck a fearful snag, their grips they lost, and both were tossed upon the cruel flag. Their senses for a moment gone, they lay in ghastly plight. Their fiery steed from burden freed, maintained his onward flight. Then each in aching consciousness, rose slowly with sad groans. Next faced about with angry shout, followed by tears and moans. Each blamed the other for the fall, until in gentler mood, their hurts they dress, while both confess the crying did them good. A wooden crutch poor Peggy finds to help her on her feet. Both solemn-faced their steps retraced to where they first did meet. But sorrow's tears are quickly dried with dolls as well as men. A jolly crowd all laughing loud, I think you'll count just 10. Mounted a little wooden cart, while Peggy, brave and tried, got up in front to bear the brunt of hobby's mighty stride. Finding a pleasant open space, gay Peg unships her load. Suggests a game which, it is plain, will soon be quite the mode. She tells of former Christmas nights, when many of her kind at leapfrog played, and merry made, fast running like the wind. The happy moments swiftly sped in unabated glee. Their lungs were strong, their legs were long, and supple at the knee. But soon they hear the clock strike 2, the hours are flying fast. With much to do ere night be through, its pleasures overpast. Just one leap more, cries Sarah Jane, this fills my wildest dream. E'en as she spoke, Peg Deutschland broke into a piercing scream. Then all look round, as well they may, to see a horrid sight. The blackest gnome stands there alone, they scatter in their fright. With kindly smile he nearer draws, begs them to feel no fear. What is your name? Cries Sarah Jane. The Golliwogg, my dear. Their fears allayed, each takes an arm, while up and down they walk. With sidelong glance, each tries her chance, and charms him with small talk. Another wonder now attracts the simple Sarah Jane. Upon one knee, she drops with glee, in case this box contain some pretty thing to give her joy, some new discovered treat. Old Peg, who planned the fun in hand, watches with face discreet. The lock unlatched, the lid springs up, knocks Sarah on her back, with flying hair and trying stare, out of the box springs Jack. Our naughty Peg enjoys the scene, laughs long with fiendish glee. Next takes to flight, gets out of sight, fresh tricks to plan you'll see. Soon Sarah's heart new courage takes, she hits upon a plan. Makes up her mind to run behind, and kill the staring man. Attempts are vain, he will not die. In terror Sarah flees. Meets a new toy, called Scissors Boy, and begs him just to please to help her pay bad Peggy back for her malicious tricks. Nor does she see that even he enjoys her woeful fix. Peg's pious face and peaceful pose you'd think portended fair, when like a flash she makes a dash, sends Sarah high in air. Entangled in the Scissors Boy, alas, death seems quite near. Her trust betrayed, this hapless maid sobs out her grief and fear. 'Twas Peggy's fault, the whole way through. The boy had meant no harm. Both ran away, nor thought to stay poor Sarah's fright to calm. A handsome soldier passing by, his heart quite free from guile, with martial air and manner, rare soon helped the girl to smile. He said the ball would now begin, and begged her for a dance. She bowed so low, it looked as though her style had come from France. A lively waltz the couple take, while all admire their grace, as round and round upon the ground they spin, with quickened pace. And shameless Peg sits on a chair, a true flower of the wall, while Sarah Jane, tease very plain, need never rest at all. With graceful compliment, the clown bows low before the belle, whose modest face and simple grace in starry robe looked well. I know I'm but a stupid clown, and play a clumsy role. Yet underneath this painted sheath I wear an ardent soul. Just then a jovial African, with large admiring eyes, seizes her hand just as the band, to give them a surprise, strikes up the barn dance. Like a flash both spring into their place. Away they go, first quick, then slow, each movement fraught with grace. The jolly pair then pause to watch a magnate from Japan, who quite alone so far from home, poor harmless little man, dances a curious Eastern dance to many a jingling bell. His brilliant dress, they both confess, becomes him very well. And now the ball is at its height, a madly whirling throng. Each merry pair a smile doth wear, and Sambo sings a song. While in their midst, the artist head of Golliwogg appears with Peg beside, whose graceful stride no criticism fears. But even wooden limbs get tired and want a chance of play, so Golliwogg, a jolly dog, suggests they run away. The big shop door is bolted fast, but through the yard behind, Peggy has spied one open wide, which she will shortly find. A touch, a push, and out they fly into the starlight night. No one must know the way they go, they cover up their flight. And though their laughing faces tell how they enjoy the fun, no sound they make, but quickly take unto their heels and run. Nor stop until they reach a field and find a lovely slide. No fear has Peg, but Meg and Weg cling screaming as they glide. The Golliwogg, with flying hair, takes the first lead you see, nor minds at all the midget small, her arms outstretched in glee. The sliders never dreamed of harm, they sailed like ships at sea. 'Twas Meg and Weg who tripped up Peg and brought to grief their spree. The wrong man often gets the blame, 'twas just so in this case, and balls of snow they madly throw at Golliwogg's kind face. He catches one in either eye, and then turns tail to run. The steady aim of Sarah Jane grows very serious fun. He does not like the way girls act, for 5 to 1's not fair. There's no escape, one hits his nape, another strikes his hair. Vengeance! He cries, I'll pay them out. If girls will play with boys, there's got be equality, so here's for equals. And then some monster balls he makes, he does not spare the snow, and as each back receives a whack, like 9 pins down they go. In life we have our ups and downs, these dolls enjoyed the same. Though down went Weg, don't think, I beg 'twas due to Sarah Jane. You see the sled was pretty full, the hill was rather steep. Weg was to steer, but in her fear she took a backward leap. Anon all reached the valley safe, and skating longed to try. The ice seemed good, as each one stood upon the bank hard by, while Golliwogg, with cautious steps, toward the middle skates. They hear a crack. They cry, come back to your devoted mates. Too late. Alas, their call is vain. He swiftly disappears. His kind forethought is dearly bought, it melts them unto tears. But sturdy, Peg is quick to act, she gives an order clear, creep on your knees, and by degrees we to the hole will steer. They reach in time, Peg drags him out with all her might and main. Poor Golliwogg, a dripping log, must be got home again. Behold sure signs of early dawn, as down the field they start. A leaden weight, this living freight, with faintly beating heart. In half an hour, the sun comes up and shows a merry face. He winks an eye, as passing by he sees the skating place. And when he peeps into the shop, with jolly laughing eye, though he's not blind, he cannot find a single toy awry. End of the Project Gutenberg, a book of the adventure of 2 Dutch dolls and a Golliwogg by Bertha Upton. End of this Project Gutenberg, a book adventure.